joining us today, Mark. Today you spoke about edge computing. How large do you think edge computing will become in Australia?
Yeah, I think as an overall market opportunity, not just for Australia, but for the global economy, I wouldn't be surprised to see in 5 or 6 years the edge, what I call the edge marketplace. So all the opportunities of people selling into or buying from what is being created new for edge as being probably equivalent to what we consider the cloud marketplace today in just the next 5 years. And 10 years from now, it's likely to be several multiples of the cloud industry.
Wow. So how do Australian companies leverage that?
Yeah, there's no one answer. Every company will have to approach the opportunity based on what kind of business they do and how they interact with customers and how many customers they interact and how dispersed their customers are. But realistically, any company that can determine a way to get closer to their customer is likely to win. And getting closer to your customer in the day of technology is, when you use your phone. I mean, when you use your phone to request a car, if you had to put your phone down and wait for it to update for 2 minutes before you knew what the car was doing, you'd probably be pretty disappointed in the service. Yeah. And in fact, you're using edge computing, creating that better interchange between the consumer and the seller, giving you that better experience is all a huge part of what the edge opportunity entails.
So you spoke about customer experience. What are 2 or 3 initiatives that we should be focused on?
Yeah, I would be looking at finding ways to differentiate from a business perspective. And this will be true for an individual business competing in Australia, but potentially also for businesses in Australia that have products and services that transcend the continent or the island. But trying to look for ways to ingratiate your technology into the lives of the customer, right? So one of the examples I used in my talk was Google's purchase of Nest, right? And they didn't buy Nest because they wanted to be in a thermostat business. They bought it because when you use this highly interactive thermostat, you're putting yourself in a position to exchange more information with the seller, in this case, Google. Right. So as Australian businesses look at edge, I would say that that's what you need to do. You need to try to find that way to create a hook with the consumer that brings value to the consumer, but accidentally at the same time provides you more information about what the consumer is doing.
It's an ever-evolving cycle.
That's right.
So you've been a CIO and a data center leader for how many years?
I've been in the business for about 30 years.
30 years. How do you suggest people can create a resilient digital infrastructure?
Yeah, there's no one answer, right? When I look at the future of technology associated with a digital infrastructure, I'm mostly thinking about applications and designs that are meant to service lots of people in a lot of areas with high resilience, high availability, right? But in order to do that, because we've been talking a lot about edge, of course, and being closer to the customer, imagine trying to build 100 or 1,000 Fort Knox data centers, Fort Knox being where they keep all the gold in the US, yeah. Highly secure, highly strengthened, thick cement, all that stuff. Building that kind of infrastructure to support a much higher number of customers in a much more diverse geography. You can see where it's not conducive to cost at a minimum, right? Not to mention time and management, et cetera. So I really see attempting to build more resiliency around how the application is designed rather than how you build servers or how you build data centers as being the key to success. And then from a real business continuity and resiliency standpoint, on top of that, it's thinking about holistically how to apply security, and from a sustainability standpoint, how to keep the team you have progressing and evolving so that they can continue to adapt and move forward with the business as technology continues to change and accelerate.
Thank you. Thank you so much for joining us today, and thank you for sharing some of your thoughts with us.
Thank you very much for having me.